Right now, state Supreme Court candidate Dan Kelly answering questions after appearing on stage with a pastor some find controversial.
Also, state Senate Republicans vote to block a ban on conversion therapy within the state. What this means for cities that already have a ban in place.
And later, a healthcare headache for a doctor after her medical bills nearly double in price. How our call for action team chipped in to help sort things out. That's all coming up right now at 5:30. Welcome and thank you for joining us. We will get to those stories in just a bit, but first we're going to start with the weather.
An alert day for tomorrow night is in effect for all of southern Wisconsin with multiple inches of snow forecasted. Let's check in with our first warn forecast with Chief Meteorologist Gary Canalti. Gary?
Well, Brady, we're watching a storm that'll literally come together right on top of us later tomorrow night. As we look at that first warn weather alert day that we have in the forecast, it is for later tomorrow night, mainly after midnight through Saturday morning, and then the snow should be winding down pretty quickly Saturday afternoon. We're looking at a general 1 to 6 inch snowfall, mainly from the Dells south and east. North and west of the Dells, I think that area will see very little in the way of snow accumulation, but the heaviest amounts of 6 inches or more could fall in a narrow band south and east of Dane County, mainly through like Rock and Jefferson counties. Right now, that's kind of what we're looking at for the snowfall potential. Again, the heaviest bands from around Monroe and Janesville, northeastward toward Milwaukee. North and west of Madison, those amounts drop off pretty quickly. Last night, there was a narrow band of accumulating snow from northern Iowa into southwestern Wisconsin. Snow vision accumulation estimates show perhaps as much as 1 to 3 inches of snow fell in that band, but Doppler track right now pretty much free of precipitation. That will change tomorrow night. Current temperatures, not as mild as yesterday, but still in the 40s, 46 in Janesville, 43 Madison, 43 in Lone Rock, and 45 in the Dells. Across Dane County, 45 in Middleton, 45 in Cross Plains, and 42 degrees in Deerfield. Look for skies to be partly cloudy this evening. Temperatures falling to just above freezing by 10 p.m. Later on, we'll take a look at the timing on when that snow should arrive later tomorrow night and when it'll move out of here.
All right, thank you, Gary. Stay up to date on the weather on our First Warn Forecast weather app. It has hourly forecasts, road conditions, and the latest radar. You can download it for free in your app's store. Just search WISC weather. So how do judges separate the views of their supporters from the law when they decide on cases?
Well, that was the question that was posed to Wisconsin Supreme Court candidate Dan Kelly at an event today after he shared the stage with a far-right pastor earlier in the week. Political reporter Will Keneally has more.
So opening at the event before Kelly was a Wisconsin pastor, Matthew Truhella, who drew controversy in 2020 for equating mask mandates to the Holocaust. Kelly says that at an event like this, he's only speaking for himself.
And I don't ask them what their backgrounds are. I don't do an examination of their beliefs.
Conservative Supreme Court candidate Dan Kelly says he doesn't bar entry for those backing his candidacy. And his comments today come 2 days after his virtual appearance at an event in Wilson that featured a Wisconsin pastor who says killing abortion providers is justified.
I never wore the mask. Why? Because it was evil. People said it's just a little mask, man. I said it's not. There's a whole evil narrative behind it.
I was invited to deliver comments at an organization. I delivered my comments. I'm not responsible for what anybody else at that organization said.
This comes as he and his opponent, Liberal candidate Janet Protasewicz, are trading charges that each other is bought and paid for by the political extremes. Kelly spoke out today against Protasewicz's stance on abortion. She has indicated that she is pro-choice. He says that the bench can't be a political body like the legislature. But those on the left have criticized Kelly for some implied ties to far right-wingers. Activist Scott Pressler, who was on the U.S. Capitol grounds during January 6th, is campaigning for Kelly.
I don't know anything about January 6th or anything like that with Scott, but I sure appreciate him in the work that he's doing.
He added that that work is invaluable.
Everybody's got a background. Everyone's got a history, and I don't ask people to sit for an examination before they help me.
Now, Kelly spoke to reporters shortly after an event hosted by the State Bar. During that Q&A, Kelly touched on whether those ties influence his judicial thinking. He says that he wants voters to trust his allegiance to the law, not to politics.
Thank you, Will. A man who fired his gun in downtown Brooklyn during a dispute over a tree last month is accepting a plea deal. Prosecutors charged 75-year-old Paul Douglas with multiple offenses after he threatened to shoot tree removal workers who Douglas thought were in the area to remove a tree the morning of February 21st. As part of the plea, Douglas pleaded no contest to and was found guilty of making terrorist threats, and the other charges were then dropped. Douglas must serve 2 years of probation and forfeit his gun. No one was injured when Douglas fired his gun, but it did prompt village leaders to move Brooklyn's sole polling place to a backup location so voters could safely cast their ballots in the spring primary election. The tree removal crew later told authorities, however, they were in the area to cut down a tree across from Douglas's home.
A 19-year-old man charged with sexually assaulting a young woman at a Madison East High School homecoming party in 2021 is pleading guilty to misdemeanor fourth-degree sexual assault. During a plea hearing for Babukar Nyang, a felony count of strangulation and suffocation was dismissed. According to a criminal complaint, Nyang choked the victim until she briefly lost consciousness and proceeded to rape her. A sentencing hearing in the case is scheduled for June 5th. Activists say they're focusing on the local level after Wisconsin Senate Republicans voted yesterday to block a statewide ban on conversion therapy.
Well, the controversial practice will now be allowed again at the state level, but more than a dozen cities in Wisconsin have their own bans in place. Braden Ross joins us now with more on what this means for those bans. Braden?
Yeah, right now conversion therapy is on minors is not allowed in 14 cities across the state, including Madison and Sun Prairie. Those bans won't be affected by what happens at the Capitol. But the controversial therapy bans aims to change the gender identity or sexual orientation of a patient, something activists say has life-threatening consequences. Advocates like Austin Keeler say their main goal is to put an end to the practice, even if it means working city by city.
What I know that I will continue to fight for, and what so many amazing advocates in our community will continue to fight for, is ending this practice once and for all. And if we have to do that by banning it in every single city and municipality and county before the legislature takes action, so be it. That's what we'll do.
Conversion therapy was first banned at a statewide level under Governor Tony Evers in 2020. Yesterday's vote would block that ban from going into effect by keeping a bill blocking it in committee and away from Governor Evers' desk. Now, yesterday, Democrats accused Republicans of abusing legislative procedure to block the ban. No Republican lawmakers spoke in favor of conversion therapy before they all voted for it this week.
Thank you, Braden. Well, today, Madison teens got a chance to talk about issues that matter to them at the Overture Center for Project Soapbox. The event is part of a nationwide program that provides students in cities across the country a platform to discuss topics like universal health care, climate change, racial discrimination, and the lack of funding for fine arts.
The U.S. government is trying to be original with its healthcare system. 152 countries have free healthcare. This means that the government covers for your visits to the doctor, vaccines, medications, surgeries.
Soapbox speeches have had lasting transformative impacts on classrooms, schools, and communities in Wisconsin and across the nation. One student from the Madison Soapbox events will be invited to participate in a national Soapbox event in May.
Coming up, Madison residents only have a few hours left to help pick out what they want the Lake Monona waterfront project to look like.
Plus, the world's largest music festival has its lineup for this year. Find out who's headlining Summerfest and when, right after the break.
Celebrate Ashley's anniversary with our lowest mattress prices of the season. Get your best night's sleep on Purple, Tempur-Pedic, Serta, and more. All backed by our 30-day price guarantee and special financing options that fit your budget at Wisconsin's #1 mattress retailer, Ashley.
It's Stop the Madness month. If your energy bills are too high, stop the madness. If your comfort is out of balance and you go straight from heat to AC, stop the madness. If you've had it with outside noise, stop the madness. Get insulated now and save up to $2,000 with the energy tax credit plus our madness discount. But the clock runs out at the end of the month, so call today.
USA Insulation.
You and running have been together for a while now. Fact is, so has Morgan's Good Form Running. We're here to help runners achieve their goals and push their limits in every sport or adventure they pursue. That kind of performance demands real innovations in technology, shape, and fit.
And we're experts in all of it, so no matter why you run, your best race starts here.
Morgan's Good Form Running, Hilldale.
Make a move in the most electrifying Honda vehicles yet. Like the CR-V and Accord, with available hybrid powertrains designed for more responsive performance and more advanced tech. When you drive a Honda, you're driving with the 2022 Kelley Blue Book's KBB.com Best Value brand. Get moving and find the Honda for you. Buy online, reserve from select dealers, or visit your local Honda dealer today.
Get the absolute best pricing now during Ashley's anniversary event. We've marked down everything to match online prices, all backed by our 30-day price guarantee. Get your choice of 6 months interest-free financing or low monthly payment options and free local delivery, only at Ashley.
You're watching News 3 Now at 5:30.
Hey, welcome back. Madison residents will have until the end of the day to share their thoughts on a set of design plans that would reimagine Lake Monona's waterfront. The project aims to transform nearly 2 miles of shoreline between Olin and Law Parks. The city launched its Lake Monona Waterfront Design Challenge last year. Now, once the public survey closes to submissions, the city will share results with the Lake Monona Waterfront Ad Hoc Committee. The city's Parks Division expects to submit the final version of the selected plan to the Common Council in August.
The preliminary lineup for Summerfest is now out, with a couple of headliner spots still to be announced. Summerfest will once again be running the 3-weekend model it has used in recent years. Kicking off with Eric Church, the Zach Brown Band, and James Taylor headlining opening weekend on June 22nd to the 24th. The following weekend on June 29th to July 1st will be headlined by the Dave Matthews Band, Odessa, and on the closing weekend, Zach Bryan and Imagine Dragons will be performing on July 6th through 8th. Tickets and a full schedule for the 55th anniversary of Summerfest are available online.
The Sweet 16 of the NCAA tournament is underway. Right now, Michigan State is taking on Kansas State in Madison Square Garden.
Good for them. With 4 games on tonight, let's take a look at the WISC bracket battle score. So in terms of the games tonight, the only team that Eric and I can get right is UCLA. So in the other 3 games tonight, we picked Purdue, Marquette, and Kansas to move on. And all 3 of those teams, well, they've already been eliminated. The only other team still alive in our bracket is Alabama, who plays San Diego State tomorrow. But we picked them to lose to Marquette in the Final Four. And we all know what happened to the Golden Eagles. So at this point, I'm just like, I hope both teams have fun.
Yeah, that's all that matters. You know?
Enjoy your time.
Well, good. That's a good attitude.
Okay.
I'm rooting for you.
Thank you. Coming up, a News 3 Now investigation 2 years in the making.
Meet a doctor dealing with her own healthcare headache as she deals with the complexities of medical billing.
Plus, an alert day is in the forecast for tomorrow night. We'll have Gary break it all down in the complete forecast.
Spring is here, and there's no better time to refresh your home than during the spring sale at Steinhafels. Whether it's a new mattress for a great night's sleep, a cozy new sofa for relaxing, or a new dining room table for game night, Steinhafels has something for every style and every budget. And with Steinhafels' special 72-month financing, your new room just got more affordable. Relax, it's Steinhafels. Shop in-store or online at steinhafels.com.
How can you make a difference in the world when there is so much need?
Be a mentor.
Young people need a positive role model to succeed and navigate life's challenges. Think about someone in your life who helped you get where you are today. A mentor assures young people that someone cares and makes them feel like they matter. Learn about mentorship opportunities in the 608 at unitedmadison.com/mentoring. Brought to you by Fearing's Audio Video Security and United Madison.
After I was robbed and my girlfriend was beat up, Janet Protasewicz was the prosecutor that went after those criminals. Those fools were on a violent crime spree. Janet prosecuted them case after case and brought those criminals to justice. I saw her work up close. She's compassionate, she's fair, and she believes in public safety. On the Supreme Court, I know she'll fight for you because she fought for me. Janet cares about us.
I've never been afraid to express myself, to create a life I love. I worried cancer could steal my spark and become my identity. But UW Health designed custom treatments just for me. And now, my legacy, it's still in the making. Because standard, well, that's never been my style. UW Health, remarkable.
Most of you are no stranger to the mess that our medical billing system can be.
Well, for one Madison woman, it turned into a nightmare when her kidney dialysis came with a price, and then that price tag doubled. Catherine Merck has been following her story and how our Call for Action team stepped in to help.
2 years of a wall, barrier, people not responding.
Dr. Fabu Carter is well known in Madison.
I'm a kidney dialysis patient. That's a critical illness.
Her health treatments came with a high cost, and then the price tag doubled.
You feel powerless.
Dr. Carter says she was paying through her health savings account to Fresenius Medical Care and out of her own pocket. She says the problem, Connect Your Care, which manages her HSA account, wasn't recognizing the expense as a true medical cost.
I work in geriatrics. I know how to navigate this, and I still couldn't get anywhere.
For months, she tried to get them to help without success.
This has been pretty much the longest and the most intense case I think I've had to deal with.
She called our Call for Action team. They ran into the same problems trying to get Connect Your Care to pay the bills she was already paying them to cover.
Every time I called, I was starting all over. No one knew the story. No one could intervene and help. Supervisors wouldn't call me back.
I'm not surprised that these complexities occurred for her, that she ran into this kind of situation, because everyone does.
Meg Gaines is the creator and teacher of a course on patient advocacy at UW-Madison for medical and law students. She says Dr. Carter's case points out many problems with our healthcare system, especially when trying to call customer service lines.
There are many places you'll call. I've called and waited online for, an hour or an hour and a half just on hold, waiting to get a hold of a human body.
Please hold while I connect you with someone who can help.
Dr. Gaines says these issues go beyond just paying the bills.
Prejudices and that exist in our culture are mirrored in the healthcare system. It's not any different.
I'm an African American in Wisconsin. We're already in the statistics for not receiving good health care. I think this is a prime example of people not helping.
2 years later, Dr. Carter and the CFA team finally got an acknowledgement from Connect Your Care that her dialysis was indeed a valid medical expense. But the story still isn't over.
They don't think she should receive her money back, but we're not going to stop just yet.
The price tag on a broken system is one many more like her will still have to pay.
So what happens to everyday citizens who have health concerns, who need these services? What do? They can't.
In Madison, with this Call for Action investigation, I'm Catherine Merck for News.
Dr. Carter's HSA Optum responded to her situation with a statement. It reads, "We have processes in place to ensure reimbursements are compliant with relevant federal regulations. While we do not comment on specific issues in the interest of an individual's privacy, we are committed to working with our account holders to reach a resolution."
And let's now go back to Gary for a complete look at our forecast.
Well, we had a quiet day today. Tomorrow should be nice, but we have accumulating snow in the forecast for later Friday night into Saturday. We have a first warn weather alert day in the forecast for that. Right now, it looks like most of southern Wisconsin, south and east of Wisconsin Dells will be affected by the storm. North and west of the Dells, much less in the way of chances for accumulating snow. But the highest snowfall amounts will probably fall in a very narrow band south and east of Madison, probably through, say, Rock County and Jefferson County. And that will be from, again, later tomorrow night into the day on Saturday. Now, as we take a look at future track beginning on Friday evening, clouds start to spread in, but precipitation starts about midnight, right near the Wisconsin-Illinois state line. And it might be in the form of rain or some light freezing rain or sleet, but as the precipitation heads northward, temperatures drop enough to change it over to snow. basically for most of southern and southeastern Wisconsin. But to the north and west, there's going to be a sharp cutoff to the snow. Notice as we get into about 8 a.m. Saturday morning, it gets about as far north as the Dells, and that's about it. So north and west of there, probably little in the way of snow accumulation, whereas the snow falls steadily Saturday night or Friday night into Saturday morning through much of southern and southeastern Wisconsin. Even by noon Saturday, the back edge of the snow approaching the Madison area, and then during the afternoon, it moves quickly to the east. Skies start to clear out, and we might see temperatures jump into the 40s, especially over areas that don't get as much snow farther to the north and to the west. Snowfall potential, again, a narrow band, and it's hard to place that exactly, but we're thinking about 6 inches, maybe a little bit more from around Monroe to Janesville, Fort Atkinson, and then northeastward to just north of Milwaukee. But again, north and west of the Dells, very little in the way of snow accumulation expected. And there's a big variance in the computer models on this because everything has to come together just right. It has to get enough cold air in, but at the same time enough moisture from the south because drier air to the north and west will cut off the snow pretty quickly. One of the computer models, the European computer model, has the heaviest band of snow right over Madison with a pretty significant snowfall there. And then some of the later computer model forecasts, this is from the NAM computer model. You can see it favors far southeastern Wisconsin and northern Illinois. Even Madison, less than an inch of snow. So again, a big variance in there. We'll keep a very close eye on the forecast. Nothing for tonight, though. Partly cloudy skies, low 27 degrees in Prairie du Chien, 22 in Camp Douglas, and 21 in Wautoma. For tomorrow, nice during the day. Partly sunny, not as chilly. High temperature reaching 47 degrees. Our first warn 7 to 10 day forecast. After the snow ends, high only 38 in Madison. Then look for temperatures to stay cooler than normal. We should be up around 50. We'll be in the lower 40s for the first part of the week until we melt some of that snow. Later on in the week, temperatures at least back into the upper 40s with some rain chances, maybe mixed with a little bit of snow when it's a little colder late at night.
It's Pro Day on Wisconsin's campus. We head inside the McLean Center to check on some former Badgers who put on a show for some NFL scouts. Stay with us.
News 3 Now First Warn Weather is brought to you by Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor.
Discover a shopping and design experience as comfortable as the furniture. Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor. Schedule your free design consultation today.
There are so many things we take for granted. So many things. And along with them, sometimes we take the people who depend on them for their survival for granted too. The elderly, disabled, the veterans, people on limited and fixed incomes, or folks that lost jobs in sectors hardest hit during the pandemic. How can they survive with record increases in their basic cost of living? Some people just can't come back. And through no fault of their own, they're being left behind, struggling to keep their heat, water, and power on. If you or someone you know needs a hand up, our heat, water, and power providers are working together to keep you safely in your home. You may not ask for it, but we're here to help.
At Weedman Lawn Care, we believe that a lush, beautiful lawn should be enjoyed by the whole family. That's why we offer a kid and pet-friendly program to create a healthier, greener, weed-free lawn that your whole family can enjoy. Our program includes effective applications of targeted weed control and slow-release golf course quality fertilizer to achieve real results. Call or click today for your free quote, or sign up now and see the Weedman difference. Doesn't your family deserve a Weedman lawn?
Need life insurance? SelectQuote found Jacob, 40, a $500,000 policy for only $19 a month. And SelectQuote found his wife, Wendy, a $500,000 policy for only $17 a month.
SelectQuote. We shop, you save.
You already know Dan Kelly worked for a radical anti-abortion group, and on the court could uphold Wisconsin's 1849 abortion ban with no exceptions for rape or incest. Here's what you didn't know. Kelly opposed background checks on all gun sales and even wrote the court decision making it easier for dangerous people to carry guns in public, banning abortion, putting our communities at risk. Dan Kelly is too extreme for our Supreme Court.
The candidates for Madison mayor face off. News 3 Now, channel3000.com, and the Cap Times present a debate between Mayor Satya Rhodes Conway and challenger Gloria Reyes.
Watch live streaming Monday at 7 p.m. Replayed Tuesday at 4 on News 3 Now.
With the NFL draft just over a month away, Wisconsin held its pro day this afternoon. Several former Badgers returned to Madison to showcase their talents in front of all 32 NFL teams, with a couple former teammates in attendance, Jack Sanborn being one of them. Now, for pro day itself, players took part in drills, on-field workouts, and meetings. Some of those players include Keanu Benton, Nick Herbig, and Camp Randall's once very renowned jewelry thief, John Torchio. Now, the hope for these players is to take this next step in their careers. So being in front of these scouts today really was a pinch me moment.
I remember being in the same spots as the teammates here right now, just sitting there watching and not being able to wait to get to this position. But at the same time, it's part of life and it's part of the journey is to wait your turn, and then once your turn comes, just take full advantage of it.
It's pretty cool, honestly. It's kind of surreal, just kind of think I'm in this position, especially as like a walk-on. You know, if you asked me at the beginning of college if I was going to be in this spot, I would probably said not.
Again, the draft is about a month away. It begins on April 27th. That's a Thursday with that first round, and then it runs through Saturday. Exactly 1 week from today, the Brewers will be at Wrigley, opening up the season against the Cubs. But for now, got a few more spring training games. Hosting the Padres this afternoon with the bases juiced in the second, Christian Yelich takes advantage. A shallow left field knock and an infield error brings home a pair of runs. The Brewers would add a couple more and hold on to win this one 4-2. The Badgers are Las Vegas bound, and one of the big reasons that's happening is because of Max Klesmit. Against Oregon, he racked up 18 points, including a pair of second-half triples, the second being a go-ahead late in the game. But if you've been dialed into the Badgers this season, you know it's just Klesmit's thing, coming in clutch, especially down the stretch. And it's something that hasn't gone unnoticed by Greg Gardner.
Wearing that uniform means a ton to him. And I think now that he's kind of got his feet on the ground after having not quite a year here, he's comfortable because he's proven himself as a player, and you can't really take a vocal ownership of a team or in a huddle until you cross that line as a proven player. And I think that hasn't been accomplished in the past. He has an edge to him, like a lot of our guys that have sat in that seat.
UW faces North Texas on Tuesday night in Las Vegas. Tip-off is set for 6.
You know what's not a slam dunk? This weather that's coming up.
Less than a week for opening day, and we got snow in the forecast. Go figure. Right now, pretty quiet out there. Lots of sunshine. Temperatures on the cool side, lower 40s. Live view from the WISC-TV Skycam, the Platteville Queen Bee Radio Skycam. No problems there. Lots of sunshine. So enjoy the evening.
All right, that's going to do it for us. Enjoy basketball, and we'll see you here after the final game.
Thanks.